Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Indigo Diamond here with a new video for you. Slightly different format. I thought it would be maybe easier for me to talk about episodes of Drag Race without me being on camera, just so I can actually look at things while it's happening, because when I'm all up in drag I cannot see anything because I don't have glasses on and I don't have contacts, so you know, I'm blind as a bat when I'm in drags without my glasses. Oh my god, can't speak. English is difficult. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the video, and leave a comment down below. Today we are going to be talking about Drag Race UK, which has now started airing. Who are your favourites so far? I've got a few thoughts. I am excited about this season, as I'll be more excited after the first few episodes, I think. So let's get into it. The editing on this episode was wild. I don't know if any of you guys noticed it. There were a lot of close-up shots. There weren't really any group shots. And a lot of that is because if you look closely, there was a secret 11th queen. Now, this queen's obviously been disqualified. They're not going to be actually competing in a weird way, because you know they've clearly been edited out as much as possible. But there are a few frames, like when Cara enters the workroom and goes over to the queens, and also in Cara's lip sync, there you can see there's another queen there that like hasn't been introduced, didn't walk into the workroom, no nothing. Now there's a lot of scandal about that, so I'm not really going to dive into it, because you know, all we have are words, and yeah, without any official from BBC, World of Wonder, your speculation can go off the rails and it can just become a whole mess, which we don't want. We're here for Drag Race, we're here for the fun, the fun drama, conflict plus drama, and to celebrate the other queens that are actually here doing their thing. So let's get into the queens and we'll get into the episode. So going in alphabetical order, because I'm looking at them on screen. Alexis St. Pete, Alexis St. Pete, not paint. I don't even know how I managed to get to paint. Alexis St. Pete, who is our Polish princess. I love a Polish accent. I think it's great. So I'm very excited to see a Polish queen on Drag Race, because I don't think we've had one. I'm pretty sure she even said she's the first. So I've liked all of her looks. I think she needs to make sure she gets out of her head, because she had a bit of conflama with DeDeLicious, where Dede kept essentially saying, "You're going to be in the bottom with me. You're going to be in the bottom with me." So, but I loved her looks. I thought her looks were really cool. I loved the fact that she kept essentially like a Polish theme throughout, with her fierce impressions. I do like the fact that this episode, they kind of like threw something new onto the girls by, you know, having them do 3 looks in the first episode and their entrance looks being judged, because that would have been interesting. Could you imagine if Willow Pill would have been judged on her entrance look? I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved her entrance look, but it wasn't like runway worthy. So but no, I really like Alexis St. Pete. I'm excited to see where she goes this series. I don't know how far she's going to go, but you know, hopefully if she does end up in the bottom, we're going to get some fierce lip syncing from her, so that will be nice. Up next we have Banksie. Now Banksie is very, very tall, and you could very clearly tell that she was very, very tall. I was a little bit disappointed by her in the club. She didn't really do much. It was like she was trying to do like a model-esque thing, but it didn't quite hit. So I'm hoping we get more from her throughout the series, because I think she's got more to offer. I think it was just kind of unfortunate. I think she, again, maybe got in her head a bit after because of who she went after in that bit. But, I did love her fierce impressions look. I love the fact that she couldn't walk in it. I thought that was hilarious. I mean, oh, sorry, just needed to get some water. My voice is apparently trying to go on me. Love that. I love the fact that she couldn't walk on it, so she had to like shuffle down the runway. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. It was so good. But I'm hoping we get more of her. I think she is good at what she does. I just think we need to be able to get to that point, so hopefully we do. Up next is Cara, who is one of my favourites so far this season. She came in with a force. You can tell, I think, that she is originally from the USA. I mean, obviously from her accent, but more from like the drag. I mean, as much as she's very inspired by the UK scene and stuff like that, I think it very much has that kind of expectation that you'd have for the USA queens, which there's nothing wrong with that. I think she looks fantastic. I love her confidence. I really do. I think, she very much has its confidence and not cockiness. She knows she's good at what she does and she can deliver on that. I love the fact that she was in the top and she was like, you're not going to make me do this song in this look. That fierce impressions look, that headpiece, she just looked so regal and elegant, and yet she was going to like do not cross her, essentially. I loved her. Every moment of her this episode, I absolutely adored her. Definitely one of my favourites so far this season. Up next is DeDeLicious. Now, from the Meet the Queens, Dee was one of my favourites. From the episode, not so much. I don't know, I think she got in her head a lot this episode. It was after she had the issue with her wig in the club, where it kept going back, and eventually came off. Even RuPaul at one point was just like, just pull it forward. And she just kept going and it came off. At that point, that's where she kind of started going downhill in the episode. She very much started getting in her head about it, and then she just kept trying to pull down Alexis St. Pete with it. I don't know if she was meaning to pull Alexis down with her. I think it was just, she was almost kind of being like, okay, well, we're the ones in the bottom, so, if I can kind of like keep mentioning it about her, it's not going to make me feel as bad. Unfortunately, it doesn't really help, because then you're kind of still in the bottom yourself, and now you're kind of dragging someone else down with you, which is not great. But obviously, it's a pressure cooker as Drag Race, isn't it? All these queens put a lot of pressure on themselves, especially someone like DeDeLicious, whose drag sister is Crystal Versace. So as one, that's got to make it like so much worse. I can imagine people that like Ms. Cracker, Monet Exchange, who are drag relatives of like Bob the drag queen, who's a very well known and very successful winner, probably put a lot of pressure on themselves when they went into the competition. So I can only imagine, that she is putting a lot of pressure on herself. I hope she gets out of that, because, from her Meet the Queens, she was definitely one of my favourites. So I'm hoping that goes away, but we will see. Up next is Ginger Johnson, who is my crush of the season. I kept looking at them in confessional and I kept thinking to myself that I'm pretty sure I find you attractive. And then they started de-dragging, they took their top off and they had a hairy chest, and I was like, yes, you are my crush of the season. Ginger Johnson is my drag crush of the season. My biggest drag crush of the season. But yeah, I very much find Ginger Johnson very attractive. So if they happen to watch this for some reason or another, hi Ginger, reach out. Not gonna happen, but you gotta try. I liked her looks. I did definitely come across more as like a motherly figure, almost like an Adina Monsoon sort of thing, but not as chaotic. But no, I really like Ginger Johnson. I hope she goes far. My only worry is she keeps mentioning that she's just there for fun, and things like Drag Race queens like that tend to not last too long, which would be a shame. A, because I find them attractive, so I want them to be there right to the end. But B, I actually really like their drag and their drag persona. They are clearly very polished. They know what they're doing, and yeah, if you want a drag daughter or, you know, something more, send me a message. God, I get so weird on these videos, don't I? Up next is Kate Butch, who's also very cute out of drag. Yeah, I don't know why, like, they kind of like did the shade thing when she did her entrance line, because it was like, oh, I got it. She was doing a Kate Bush song, just like comically. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I like the fact that for her Fierce Impressions look, she did just kind of like she had like wheelies on, so it was like rolling down the stage, but because of how long her dress was, it just looked like she was kind of like floating down the stage. It was great. I really liked it. Wasn't the best in the club performance, but you know, hopefully, I'm hoping she gets to Snatch Game, and I'm hoping she breaks that curse to funny queens not being funny in Snatch Game. But we will see. But I'm a fan of Kate Butch. I hope she does well. I mean, at this point, I'm saying I hope everyone does well, so I can't help it. When the queens are good, the queens are good. Up next is Michael Marouli. And they are Michael Marouli in and out of drag. Call them he, she, they don't mind as long as you call them, which is a good business. I'm excited to see more of Michael Marouli. I don't think we really got... It's weird because we kind of like got a bit of them, but I don't think they were kind of like the main focus of the episode. So I'm hoping we get to know them more, because I think they'd be fun. I liked the sort of like retro look that we got for their Fierce Impressions. I thought that was interesting. Up next, we've got Miss Naomi Carter. Now, my favourite thing about Miss Naomi Carter is the fact that they looked so beautiful, so elegant, and their voice sounded nothing like that. I love that sort of thing. The juxtaposition between those is hilarious. Again, wasn't much of a focus this episode, so hopefully we get to know them a bit more throughout. I loved their Fierce Impressions runway. I thought it was a good look. There was nothing wrong with the look. I thought she looked amazing, and she really like worked it very well. The only thing was, you know, it was a Diana Ross reference, so clearly to kind of be like, oh look, you know, if anything goes wrong, at least this is a Diana Ross reference, which is RuPaul's favourite. But no, I'm excited to see more of them. It's going to be good. I'm excited. Up next is Tomara Thomas. Not really a lot happened with Tomara Thomas on this episode, apart from the fact that on her Fierce Impressions runway, her wings didn't work properly, which I felt so bad for her for. I just kind of wanted to run up and give her a hug, because I never feel good when I see that happen to queens. I think, you know, I want everything to go well for them. I want them to have their best chance of success on the show and success after the show. So yeah, I felt bad about that, but you know, she looked good. I think she's got personality, so I'm sure she'll do well. But yeah, finally we've got Vicki Vivacious, our first Cornwall queen. One of my aunts used to live in Cornwall, actually, so that's kind of, I mean, completely irrelevant and utterly pointless information. Vicki mentioned the troops a lot throughout this episode. I feel like that, because of that, I should probably root for her slightly, because my brother-in-law is in the armed forces, in the army, currently. So, but no, I mean, I like her drag. The only thing that keeps putting me off with her, and I don't know why, is the lips. There's something about the lips. I can't place what it is, but there's something about them. But I loved her looks. I loved her the Queen's Guard look. I thought that was really good. So yeah, I think all in all, it's going to be an interesting season. The Queen that's been edited out, from the rumours, I think they get to like episode 2 or 3, and then the information that essentially got them kicked off was found out about that point. So hopefully the editing will get better in sort of like episode 3, maybe episode 4, depending on if that Queen's actually in episode 3. But yeah, just because it makes the editing seem a bit weird. There's a lot of like close-ups. You don't really get many wide shots, which make it a bit awkward to kind of like really get a like view of what's going on half the time. I love the fact that this episode we got some of the international queens. We had like Jimbo, Pangina, Lady Camden, Silky Nutmeg Ganache, and Nikki Doll. I love when we get queens interacting with other queens. It always brings me joy. It's one of my favourite things actually about All Stars. I don't like, and Versus the World, obviously. With All Stars, I don't like it when they have too many queens from one season, because as much as their relationships sort of evolved and changed, I feel like, well, I've already seen them on TV together. I kind of want to see more queens from different seasons interacting with each other and see how that goes. That's one of the things I like. It was the only, as much as like All Stars 2 is probably still my favourite All Star season, it was a lot of the season 5 cast, so it was a lot of the same sort of things, and in fact actually less kind of drama, because Coco and Alyssa had made up at that point. But no, I'm excited for this season. Yeah, like I said, big crush on Ginger Johnson, so I want them to go far. I also think they're good at what they do. Cara, Melle, I think, is great. I think, you know, there's Vicki Vivacious obviously won the episode, so she's very good at what she does. I think I need more time with the queens, and to be able to see more of what they do to really come to that conclusion of who I want. Currently, Ginger and Cara are my top 2, but we will see. Leave me a comment down below. Who are you looking forward to seeing this series? Are you enjoying it so far in the first episode? If you had to pick a top 3, who would yours be? Or even a top 2? I've only got a top 2 at the moment. Yeah, and while you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you lovely, lovely people later. Bye.